Don't you say it?
Yeah.
Don't dare say that it's weird. Stare in shock and awe and say he can grow a beard. He can grow a beard. He can grow a
Ladies and gentlemen and listeners in Radioland, welcome to this week's edition of What's So Funny. Our guest is the bearded wilderness man himself, friend of the show, even though it's been his first time here in 6 years. It's Graham Clark. And of course, we have your host, the spokesman for comedy writers all over the downtown east side. It's Mr. Guy McPherson.
Thank you, Sam. Nice to be back.
Yeah.
Back from the island. I was island living this weekend, and it's nice to have Graham Clark here. I think we found a theme song for Graham Clark.
It's pretty good.
Who can grow a beard.
Yeah.
You really can.
I really can. I really did.
You did?
Yeah.
Well, you grew it once. Could you do it again?
Well, that's a good question.
Right?
Yeah. Could I have a sophomore beard? Is that how it goes? Does it go junior, sophomore?
It's
freshman?
No, freshman is first.
First.
Yeah. And then sophomore.
Sophomore.
Yeah.
Then junior.
That's right.
Then senior.
Yeah.
4 years.
Ooh. The States is tough, man. They also call university college.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's
I
weird.
know.
It's a weird country.
What do they call college?
College.
College.
Yeah.
They call all of it college.
College. Anything, bartending school.
College. Yeah.
Well, it's not a bad idea.
What, bartending school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Now that we
Are we
think
drunk?
about it. As Sam Tonning says, it has been 6 years since Graham Clark graced our presence. Well, here on the show anyway. I
Yeah.
see you around town.
Yeah.
Yeah, occasionally we'll have a coffee.
Yeah, and well, the last time I was here after your show, there was a bunch of young Korean people would come in and do a show.
That sounds pretty awesome.
It was really awesome.
It seems to me like that was eons ago. Like I told you it was probably 10 or 12 years since the Korean show followed us, and you said no, it was closer than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right, but it also seems like a decade since you were last here.
Yeah, but it's crystallized in my memory, this young band of teenage kids that would come in and play.
Korean pop.
Yeah, music
was-
from a land far away.
It was world music.
It was world music, but it was specific enough to a country to not be bad world music.
It was good.
It was really good.
I like K-pop.
And now K-pop's, it's landed.
I know.
Man, it's huge now.
So they're too mainstream to be on this station.
Yeah.
That's why they had to leave.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, it's
K-pop is too popular.
What follows you now? Jug music? Some sort of jug music.
So Graham has been with us on this show. This is your 12th time.
Really?
12
I did it.
time.
A dozen.
I'm in the dozen club.
Wow.
And I don't know if you are the only one. Probably.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go back and count, but it's case by case. When somebody comes in, I will check to see how many times they've been on. And you have been on 12 as a guest, solo, with somebody else in a group situation, and even twice guest hosting.
Guest hosting,
this
that's
program.
right.
That was before you had your own podcast. Stop podcasting yourself. You still doing your little podcast?
I am. Yeah.
How's that going?
Good.
Yeah?
I'll have you know.
Were you nominated?
No, we didn't nominate ourselves. We did the
What?
John Larroquette.
Didn't nominate yourself?
Yeah. Don't you know this? The Comedy Awards, it's all you
Whoa.
nominate yourself, man, and then you don't win.
Yeah, exactly. Someone from Toronto did. No.
Yeah.
But you are nominated for something else in the Canadian Comedy Awards this year.
Yeah, and I
Best
lost.
newcomer? Oh, it's over?
Best
It's over.
newcomer.
It happened today.
What happened today?
No, best stand-up.
Yeah, not
and-
newcomer.
Not newcomer.
Guy.
And lost to Martha Chavez.
Martha.
Martha Chavez.
Well, hey, she's a wily vet.
She's a wily vet. And I mean, if I knew the category was best wily vet, I wouldn't have put in.
You know, I'm looking at the list of winners right now. Comedic Artist of the Year,
Yeah, Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald.
Well, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't know a lot of people.
Breakout artist, Chantel Marostica.
Yes, that's right.
Do you know her?
I do.
Yeah, is she good?
Yeah, she's good. She's from Winnipeg originally, now in Toronto.
Yeah.
Great.
And, yeah, funny.
Good. Well, that's ideal.
Yeah. And then there's a whole smear of people I don't know.
A lot of writers for Toronto.
A lot of
short film productions.
Oh, Pat Thornton won.
Pat Thornton did win for Phil City.
Yeah, where he played a variant of Rob Ford.
Oh,
Like kind of a mayoral drug scandal movie.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. Baroness von Sketch won the best TV show.
I don't like when a show that already has all the things wins another thing. It's like it's great. You're great.
Well,
we all think it's great. You don't need to win another thing.
What was the great?
Give it to somebody that people don't really like.
Yeah. Give somebody that people don't really like a chance.
Best direction in a TV series or special, I think, had 5 nominees. All were for Kim's Convenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So did Kim's Convenience win that one?
No, they didn't give an award. No.
This year they just canceled the award.
Elisa Young won for Kim's Convenience.
There you go.
Best direction. But yeah, this
Strong
That's
direction.
a lesson out there for TV shows. Nominate yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. Don't be too proud to beg.
Don't be too proud. Well, I'm sorry you didn't win.
Oh, well.
I didn't even know it was on today because, like I say, I was in transit. I was on the ferry, and you're sort of in a whole... You're in your own universe when that happens.
You don't get great cell reception
Exactly.
on the ferry. Yeah.
Exactly.
And there's the white spot that you have to deal with. And did you have white spot on the ferry?
Well, I ate on the cafeteria.
Yeah.
I had for the first time ever, normally you get the burgers because they're delicious.
That's white.
Yeah.
Well, you
That's
don't.
what I'm saying. Yeah, the white spot.
Yeah, but no, I had the beef pot pie
Whoa.
with a Caesar
On the open
salad.
sea. No better place.
But we kid the ferries. But they did say today, the announcement that you don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
I referenced the late, great Erwin Barker because they did say voyage. And I said to my 13-year-old son, voyage. In 1765, it was a voyage.
And did he like it? Did he like it?
He kind of just put up with me.
Humored dad.
Because
Throw a lemon on my Caesar salad so I don't get scurvy.
But he would also do an impression of the voice, which isn't the voice anymore.
No, it used to be Barry Bowman.
And now it's
CFAX 1070s.
Yeah, it's a throaty lady.
Very popular right now.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
very hip.
I was thinking they should get Simon King to do the voices.
You saw his video?
I did.
Yeah.
So the video for and he's been contacted by the Canada Line. Is it just Canada Line or all SkyTrain? All
He really
the
was
trains?
contacted?
What?
He was
Really?
contacted by them.
No.
Yes, after that video.
Really?
We don't know if he'll get it, but they're sort of interested.
Wow.
Intrigued by the video.
The ultimate credit.
This is why you got to put yourself out there. You nominate yourself. Put a video out there.
We don't know that it'll happen. For those who don't know, Simon has been a guest here a few times. He's a wonderful impressionist.
Yeah, which
Really good.
I always forget because it's been a long time since I've seen him do voices on stage. And then one night he was doing, he was reading tweets as Rodney Dangerfield, and I invited him to come and do a show just doing that.
Just tweets from Rodney Dangerfield?
Yeah. And he went up and did that, and it killed. And now it seems like the impressions are. I'm glad to see them back.
Yeah, and he does some obscure ones.
Yeah, he does a really good Jason Statham.
See, I don't even know what Jason Statham sounds like.
It sounds just like Simon's impression.
I will have to listen to that. But yeah, so, he could do, or maybe just get different stand-up comics to do the voices for transportation systems around British Columbia.
Yeah.
For the ferries.
Yeah, I think my vote is with Simon.
Yeah.
I think Simon's the man for the job.
As impressionists. But here's the tricky part. Those voices that belong to real people could sue and say, you're making money off this. People think it's me.
Well, what you give all you do is give the money to charity. Yeah, problem solved. Who's making money now? The orphans?
It's time to start a charity.
But I think Simon King would like a cut of that.
Oh, well, that's I'll leave that to him and his lawyers.
You are not managing Simon King.
No.
No, okay. Anyway,
As of press time.
it's been 2012 since you were last here, and a lot has happened in the past 6 years in the life of one Graham Clark. Correct? True or false?
I guess medium true. I don't think a lot has happened. 6 years? What was happening in 2012?
What was?
We thought...
Were you doing your TV show, 2012?
No, that was in
That was over?
That was long. Yeah, long dead. 2012, we all thought that the Mayans had predicted that the Earth was going to end. Remember?
Was that 2012?
Yeah. So I was building a bunker. Then I sold my bunker for $1 million because it's Vancouver. So I'm a millionaire.
That's great.
Yeah.
And then you had to start all over again because you gave up everything.
I did. I gave up everything.
Because of the damn Mayans.
Yeah. Stupid.
Stupid, really.
Yeah, I don't know that a lot has happened in 6 years, but nothing has happened.
Sure, because you're on, well, you still do Stop Podcasting Yourself. Hugely popular since 2008.
Yes.
Correct?
Correct.
And now we're 2018.
Whoa.
It has been 1 decade of nonstop giggles.
I know, right?
Yeah.
10 years.
Every week you guys put out a show.
Oh, brother. We didn't, because same with you, I'm sure you didn't have any conceit that you were just going to keep doing it.
Yeah, no, it could end any week.
Yeah.
Especially at my age.
We never had a plan to keep it.
That's
going.
right. Don't you feel that people now starting podcasts always sort of have a stars in their eyes too soon, or they just want to get half a million followers or listeners within a month, and then I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I find
a lot of them fall by the wayside.
There's a lot of falling by the wayside because it's hard to do it every week.
You got to do it because you like it.
Yeah.
And you got nothing else to do.
Yeah, and you also have to have nothing else going on.
Yeah.
But it's the doing it every week. It's the trick. Is like every...
I don't do that.
You do this every week.
Not every week. We weren't here last week.
But you put one out every week.
There's something coming. We have content released at 11 p.m.
on the radio
Sunday night here.
Not everything. Sometimes we'll run reruns.
Yeah.
I think we did last week. We ran a rerun with Sean Farquhar because Brent Butt had to postpone.
Okay.
So, and Sean Farquhar, you know Sean Farquhar.
I don't know.
The great magician, world champion
He's a great
magician.
Did he do magic here on the radio?
No, he didn't, but he was sitting right where you're sitting. And he used to tour with Brent Butt.
Oh,
back
really?
When he was starting out and Brent was starting out. It was great. So, because he referenced Brent, I said, well, I'm playing Sean Farquhar.
And what, this guy still does magic?
Yeah, man. He fooled Penn and Teller twice.
Oh, really?
He was the first one ever to fool him twice.
Yeah. Libertarianism didn't work.
He was on, Ellen. Doing magic.
Oh, okay. So he's a big
shot. He's a big shot.
Okay. Yeah. Is he playing Vegas? Is that the ultimate?
No,
for a
he
magician?
just tours all over the world.
Cool.
Yeah.
Does he wear?
He doesn't wear
magician
anything.
clothing. He doesn't wear anything. He's a nude magician. Now, honestly, that would be amazing.
They have that in Australia, of course. Australia, right?
There's a nude magician.
There's a pair, 2 magicians.
Don't they have puppetry of the penis?
Well, that is not magic, but
it is if you see it.
Yeah. No, there are 2 male magicians who do magic in the nude. Sam will find that for us.
But that would be very hard to do because isn't a lot of it
hiding
pockets
stuff? Well, you got to just find other places to hide.
Oh, yeah,
stuff.
you have to have some sort of weird fleshy pocket. I understand.
The Naked Magicians.
There you go.
Yeah, of course, they're from Australia.
Yeah.
That's right.
Well, there you go. That was my $1 million idea. Sailed. I don't know if those guys have $1 million.
Can I keep the flesh pockets? Because I already got those. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So since 2012, you've been doing the podcast still. You write for tons of things. You're a writer on The Debaters and a frequent debater yourself.
Yeah. I was just in Victoria, land of your birth.
So this was when?
Last week.
Okay, so a friend of mine at Waffle-Rama said, hey, I was trying to get tickets to The Debaters, and it was sold out. And I thought, last guy. But I didn't know if this was coming up or it had already been.
Just happened. And at the McPherson Theater, named after you and your family.
That's correct.
And I was debating It was ketchup versus mustard, and I came in as a third contestant.
First time in the history of the debaters,
That's
probably.
right. Yeah.
So you made history on
Made
CBC.
history as the third debater coming in as Relish.
Did they know? No, it was a complete surprise.
Complete surprise. Who would know? Who would know that I would rush the stage?
Who was for ketchup?
Sean Proudlove.
And who was for mustard?
Mustard was Wes Moore.
Well, I'm with mustard.
Yeah, I think
I'm with Wes.
In the abstract, I'm also with mustard because mustard's great. I just had some earlier today. Still thinking about how
don't
great
brag.
it was.
French's.
Hey, it was real nice mustard. But you know what? The more I thought about relish, the more I'm like, I could be team relish.
The forgotten condiment.
Yeah, and it's like a catch-all term. It's not like salsa is relish.
Is it?
Yeah. So that was my big trump card was salsa's relish.
Y'all like salsa. Don't pretend you don't.
And chutney, that's relish.
Wow.
Relish is just any combination of pickled vegetable or fruit.
See, this debaters show, they actually do research. They don't just get up there and start riffing.
Whoa, what?
Because you couldn't riff facts. You can't riff facts.
But it's a debate. You don't need facts.
Yeah. No, you're thinking of some other show.
I am.
What are you thinking of?
U.S. politics. Hello.
Hey, you got a reference. He's back for another week next week.
Real good.
Sam Tawney. Hey, Graham, we got to do a station identification.
All right.
I mean, you have to.
This is Graham Clark. You're listening to What's So Funny on CFRO 100.5 FM, Vancouver Co-op Radio.
Wow, what a pro. He nailed it right off the bat.
Like
That was a cold read.
Freddie Wannick took like 15 tries.
They were hilarious.
They were very funny, yeah. Now make one funny.
This is Freddie Wannick, and I don't know how to read the words. Oh, no. Pretty good.
You didn't give any of the info, though. That's so.
We got it.
He took 15 tries. That was my first.
He didn't even know how to say 100.5. He was going, is it 100?
It's a phone number.
Or is it 100 or 100?
He's an actor. He's a vessel. He lets the words flow through him.
Well, you did very well on that.
Thank you.
Thanks. So you're still doing the debaters, writing for it. You think, what do you have to write? If you're not performing. Well, the host has to read words.
He's got to read words, somebody's got to come up with what are the debates
and the questions as well.
Somebody's got to research all these questions. Mm-hmm. So I do all that stuff.
That's Graham Clark.
Yeah.
And then today I was watching an episode of Corner Gas Animated. Speaking of Freddie Wannick and Brent Butt, and right at the end, Punch Up by Graham Clark and Erica Sigurdsson.
That's great.
Street fighting man.
They're giving you punch-up credit.
Yeah, which I did not expect.
No.
Yeah.
So you just expected to go in and add a few jokes but not get credit.
Exactly.
Just get money.
That's most
cash
typical.
for jokes.
Yeah, you get money and you don't, credit's not even discussed. You just throw in ideas into the script.
You know what? I mean, I do read credits more than is normal. Yeah, I think through my whole life I have. I've always stayed till the very end of movies. So when my friends are going, "Let's go," I go, "No, it's not over till the final credit." But I don't think I had ever seen Punch Up credit.
No, I found out about it because I was on a radio show in Winnipeg, and they said, "Oh, you wrote on the Corner Gas Animated," and I was like, "How the hell did you know that?" And
That's supposed to be a secret.
But it's usually they don't punch up. I've done lots of punch up stuff.
Well, that's great.
And they take your jokes.
And the problem with that is if you don't have the credit and you need to show somebody else the work you've done. Where's the proof?
There's no proof.
There's no proof. So could you use it on another script that doesn't use you as a credit? Could you say, hey, I punched up this script?
I guess you could give the person's name and hope that they vouch for you. Yeah. But if they don't, then, what evidence do you have?
Yeah, because you could say punch up for Seinfeld.
Yeah, I did some punch
try
up for
getting
Jerry.
hold of him. I mean, but really, he would vouch for me if you did.
I mean, it wasn't the show Seinfeld. It was Seinfeld on the Marriage Ref, which was terrible. And I'm sorry.
It's a B movie spinoff.
That Marriage Ref.
You have a real bee in your bonnet about that show.
It should have been a good show. I think. And because Tom Papa is so funny.
Very funny.
And they somehow made him not funny. I don't know how you can make somebody as funny as Tom Papa not funny, but they did it. And then the show, it just was bad. It was very bad, but it should have been good. It had all the ingredients to be an excellent show.
I forget it now, but it was Couple in Trouble, was it?
Yeah, it was a couple that would have like a dumb...
Oh, it's sort of like
thing.
Judge John Hodgman.
It would before Judge John Hodgman was around.
Judge John Hodgman stole that.
I mean...
He expanded on it, took it away from just the marriage.
And made it work.
Yeah. And was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was one of those things where it was like, I think they thought, if we just bring on enough celebrities...
Yeah, there were celebrities there. They were the judges, were they?
No. Oh, yes, they were the judges. That's right.
Yeah.
They would like... And not all celebrities are funny. Like Madonna was on it. She was not funny.
Madonna was on it?
Yeah.
Really?
She was on it. Ricky Gervais was one of them. Mm-hmm. Alec Baldwin was on several times.
He's funny.
He can be funny.
Yeah.
Mm. Hey, side note here. Tonight I was watching Jeopardy, as I do. And it was the weekend.
Jeopardy's on Sunday?
No. I PVR all the
right.
Jeopardies. So I had two in store. So I was watching one. And the last category in the second half of the show, the double Jeopardy round, was about podcasts.
Okay.
So the three contestants there, they go through all the categories, and there's only one left, and it's podcast. First question comes up. 3 blank stares. Beep, beep, beep. Time's up. No, nobody even hazarded a guess. I don't remember the podcast, but there you go. Second one was the Alec Baldwin one. They gave enough clues to know the answer was Alec Baldwin.
Right.
And they gave the name of his podcast. They gave hints about him. Silence from the 3 people. And the third one somebody did get, and then they ran out of time, so we didn't get to the last 2. I'm sure Stop Podcasting Yourself would have been one of them.
Maybe the Daily Double.
No, they used up all the Daily Doubles, but yeah, like it's funny because podcasts are so popular, and yet there are some people still who, and I guess there's also just so many that you could pick the 5 most popular ones, and here are 3 representations of average smart people.
Right.
I've never even heard of them.
Yeah, because like, what's the most popular podcast? Like Joe Rogan?
Yeah, and that's a very niche audience.
Yeah.
Or niche, as he might say.
Is that what Joe Rogan would say?
Well, Americans say niche.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. He's probably like the most popular outside of like NPR produced, like This American Life.
Yeah, a lot of radio shows that are podcasts. I guess like this one, except for, they're highly produced.
This is slick. This is highly produced.
On podbay.fm, their rankings are Revisionist History, Malcolm Gladwell's podcast.
Oh, I listened to that one. I do.
It's their French fry episode was great. And then the Joe Rogan Experience is number 2. And
that's crazy. Now, Roseanne was supposed to be on Joe Rogan last Friday, and she canceled.
Why? What happened?
No, she was going to be on. Like, she arranged it after the
Roseanne
big blow
Gate.
up. Yes, and then she canceled by the time Friday came around.
How Joe Rogan, this is very like, I don't understand how it happened. I don't understand how Joe Rogan went from being Fear Factor.
And speaking of TV hosts who are not funny, on Fear Factor, in however many seasons, not one single funny word passed through his lips.
Yeah, and he was just there to amp up the fear.
Yeah.
Like he was, and then somehow he starts a podcast and then becomes the number 1 podcast.
Yeah.
It's not, he doesn't even try to be funny on the podcast. He just talks about getting high.
Yeah.
And gets high.
Well, he does have a
like getting high,
I guess.
though.
I don't know anything about that.
He has a wide range of guests, intellectual, highbrow, lowbrow.
Yes. And he also he doesn't, I've listened to it, and he doesn't have like an agenda. He doesn't try and corner his guests. He lets them kind of say their piece.
Sometimes he lets them say their piece a little too much.
Maybe a little too much.
Maybe he should question them on some things.
Imagine if What's So Funny was 4 hours. every day.
Is it 4 hours
No,
that he does?
sometimes it's like 3 hours.
Yeah, it's
too.
usually 3.
It's insane.
Wow. Like all with the same guest, 3 hours?
Usually, yeah,
Wow.
because they're so fucked up. They just sit around.
Oh, so they get high before the show.
I assume, especially the comedians.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, those are the comedian ones.
And I would assume also, and this may, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's a wrong assumption, when like Jordan Peterson comes on, he's super baked.
No.
Okay, I assumed wrong. I assumed wrong.
You're wrong.
That guy's Mr. Straight Edge. He will only do, peyote or something out in the
In the desert.
in the desert.
Well, my apologies, Jordan Peterson.
But yeah, I wonder if the Joe Rogan podcast would have been an answer. I wanted to see the rest of the clues on Jeopardy.
Yeah.
And to see just if they would have been greeted with blank stares.
They should have that as a feature, a Jeopardy app that then it shows you the clues that they didn't get to. That
Right.
way.
Well, they might show up in another episode.
That's laziness. That's laziness on their part. Create an app, Jeopardy.
Come on.
But yeah, what do you like that Jordan Peterson guy?
Well, it's very hard for me to I don't immediately dislike him like so many, but I
didn't
don't
immediately
also
dislike him.
like
but
him. Like I like some of the things that he says, and I like it when he takes sort of a neutral academic point of view.
Right.
But then when he starts talking about, well, this is just Marxist, and I'm going, like, I don't care. I don't have a dog in that fight, as they say, but don't use it as a pejorative. Because just say whatever you want to say about the people who believe this thing, rather than just putting them all down as Marxists.
He does this thing that a lot of people do on as a tactic where they say like, this ideology, which is murderous.
Yeah.
And you're like, why? Hold on. The ideology's not murderous unless the ideology is murder.
Yeah.
There you go.
Good,
right.
pretty good narration there. Not bad.
Well, I didn't know until I listened to Graham Clark guesting on the Butt Pod. How's that for an impression?
Really
For
good.
my voice cracked. With Brent Butt, that you have a background in radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
the way you read this, our little station ID, and by the way, you need to do it again.
Oh, here we go. This is Graham Clark. You're listening to What's So Funny on CFRO 100.5 FM Vancouver Co-op Radio.
Yeah, and the way you did the other thing, too. I mean, who knew this about you? I didn't.
I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Did your family?
My family knew.
Yeah, so that was before you went into film. I don't want to just repeat everything that you said on the Butt Pod, but it was surprising to me that, one, you were this kid private investigator.
Yeah.
As well as a journalist.
Yeah.
Or wanted to be.
Wanted to be in the
Yeah,
in the
so
journalism game.
because Brent got this scoop, I've known you for I don't know how many years. What year did you first perform at Laugh Lines when I judged you in a contest?
Maybe like 2003?
Was it that?
2002, 2003?
I'm
Yeah.
thinking it was earlier.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've known you for a long time.
Long time.
and I didn't know that.
I know.
So what else? Give me a scoop. Something that the people don't know about Graham Clark.
When I was deciding, like the summer before going to college, I got an invitation. I was working at the Calgary Stampede, and I got an invitation from a guy to join the carny lifestyle. He said, like, we need guys. We always need guys to help put together and run the ride and all this stuff.
Those are the words, carny lifestyle.
Yeah, he said, do you want to be a carny? And I was like, oh my God. I can remember it. It was like the standing on like a precipice. I was like, I could really go either way. Like college is fine, but also I could be a carny.
Run away with the circus.
Run away with the
as
circus.
it were.
Yeah.
You could play in the Oak Bay Tea Party or, run the rides.
I could run the rides. Yeah. I could have traveled all over the place, done crimes. You know,
is that what they do?
Yeah, sure. It's
What?
not.
Whoa.
Yeah, come on.
Don't
now.
denigrate the profession.
No,
Okay?
if anything, I'm boosting it up.
I guess so.
I'm making it more mysterious.
They don't get caught. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
My apologies,
Denigrating
Graham.
all carny Canadians.
And so I was almost a carny.
Wow.
I really
So-
considered it.
But now, okay, that's great. That's a good scoop.
That's a good scoop.
But now I'm fascinated. So you think these crimes that happen throughout the country that don't get solved, they're from carnies?
I mean, they're not all from carnies, but a lot of them. I would say if you're a police officer and you've got no leads, start with Carnival.
If it's a crime of passion, then it certainly is a carny. Because they have emotions that they don't get to release on the job, you know?
And if you go to the scene of the crime and there's like candy corn or you know what I mean? Like if there's cotton candy, any of the main fair candies.
Little corn dog on the side.
Maybe
corn dog stick.
Yes.
Yeah. Just the
He was stabbed, but we can't find a weapon.
But I think, I think a lot of crimes, because you can do a crime as a carny and then the next day you're out of town, man.
yeah.
Right.
You
So
know?
the police should be saying, was there a carnival here within the last week?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Like nobody ever does there's that kind
Triangulation?
of triangulation. Yes, thank you.
Well-
That's exactly the word I was looking for.
Do you think there should be a carny registry?
No.
Whoa.
No, because then, that's akin to let's round them up.
Well, if they're going to be committing all these crimes.
Hey, look, it's like, is there a mafia registry?
And this is how Jordan Peterson became popular.
But yeah, these guys, like I would talk to them every day. I would bring them coffee.
Why? So let's back up a bit. Why were you talking to the carnies?
Because I worked...
Carnival workers? Sorry.
No, they prefer carnies.
Oh, okay.
Their ride backed onto where I was working was the catering division.
Oh, this is like a Woody Allen movie.
Yeah, so I would every
lived
morning
right above the roller coaster, or right below the roller coaster.
I would show up first thing in the morning. They'd be the only guys kind of on the lot, and we had just like the giant things of coffee. I don't know what they're called.
That is big.
Yeah, and so I would just bring them cups of coffee, and then they would tell me carny stories.
Oh, what was a one that stayed with you?
A lot of them were about fights that they had been in, because everybody's ride.
People they killed?
Not killed, but beaten up. Because everybody protects their own.
They didn't
ride.
stick around to see if they lived or died.
They have to protect it's all cash, and they protect their own ride.
Wow.
Like there's no central security, and they don't deal with cops. So if somebody, if a gambling thing goes wrong or whatever, they all deal with it in their own. So there's a lot of people getting cranked on the head.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So what ride would have the toughest carny?
You know what? The ride that I had, which was like a little kiddie ride.
Oh, like the teacups had like the most dangerous.
Yeah, and these guys were like I'd rather be shipped off to prison than have to tangle with these guys.
Man. And how old were you at the time?
I was 18, so I was very deciding my future.
And when they mentioned this career opportunity for you,
they thought I was carny stock. You know what I mean?
well, look
they
at you now.
Yeah,
they were right.
They thought I could pull it off.
But at the age of 18,
Yeah.
even when I saw you in 2003, if you say that's when it was, I wouldn't have pegged you as a carny.
Carny stock?
Yeah.
Well, it's something. It's just something innate.
Did you give it a moment's thought?
I gave it a week's thought.
Okay.
man.
Yeah.
And what turned you against carny?
I think I just maybe wanted to pursue something as opposed to just become a lawless criminal.
No.
I think I wanted to
Giving
go to
joy
school
to boys and girls.
Yeah. But I wanted to do that on my own terms.
Oh, okay.
So I went to school. I learned.
That sounds creepy. I prefer to give them rides at a carnival.
Yes. Yeah. On my own terms. At my own carnival.
Buy some tickets, hand them out to little boys and girls. Maybe
Yeah.
that's on your own terms.
On my own terms.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and did you discuss this career option with your parents?
No. Not at all. But I talked to my friends about it.
Yeah.
And they were in favor of it.
Because they have free rides for them.
They thought this would, like, they were like, you mean just to work the rides during the Stampede? And I was like, no, like, join them, like, just go town
Travel
to town.
around.
Yeah. And they were like, go for it, do it. I don't think my friends cared about my long-term prospects.
They wanted a bench seat in a car to sleep on when they came to town.
Yes.
Like, they
And
could
also
stay with
somebody
you.
who could, like, make things disappear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the bodies in the teacups?
Yeah.
What?
You get it.
Trust me, I've been flirting with that lifestyle for a long time.
The carny lifestyle?
Well,
I think Sam is carny stock.
You could be carny stock.
I'd get kicked out. I have a feeling like I just get too upset that they weren't gambling properly. Like they played with the wrong rules in one-eyed blackjack or whatever they call it.
I don't know what they call it.
I don't know either. I can't do it. I'm not allowed on a lot of rides.
But we got a scoop here. Graham has never mentioned this on air to anyone.
No, yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That's how we're going to plug this episode.
Yeah.
Carny lifestyle.
Almost a carny.
Yeah. And dude, we finished talking about Jordan Peterson. I said what I thought.
Yeah.
And what did you think?
Was that he would say that ideologies are murderous. And then I think that's like, it's a weird argument technique that's it's not genuine. It's its sole aim is to get you thinking, well, that can't be a good ideology. Yeah.
It may not even be based in any kind of truth. Or, murderers have all kinds of jobs.
You know what? That's true. And I'm tired of people trying to pigeonhole murderers as having only certain types of jobs.
That's right. And they have all kinds of ideologies.
Yeah.
So is any ideology murder? Maybe they all are.
I think they all
We shouldn't adhere to ideologies.
No, yeah. Just be a free thinker, man.
Well,
be like a carny of the mind.
Here at Co-op Radio, we take seriously diversity in opinion and thought, and I think lots of belief systems and ideologies are important to represent in our community radio. So please continue listening to 100.5 Vancouver Cooperative Radio. We appreciate you.
There it is. Really good.
That was great.
That was a great saver.
What a pro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But ideologies, really. I said ideology. He said ideologies. What do you say?
Ideology.
Ideologies.
Well, I'm an idiot.
2 to 1. You're a stupid idiot. Graham Clark. Hey, so we mentioned the debaters punching up scripts. There's another TV show or something. Aren't you on? Don't you do something? Movie? No? Hey, you know what you do, and I haven't seen it yet, but I've seen the YouTube clip of it. The quiz show, Graham Clark's quiz show.
Yeah.
And it occurred to me, well, I was wondering about one thing. You get celebrity contestants to represent, the common folks in the audience, and you make them come up with quips.
Yeah.
Do you give them the topics ahead of time?
I do not.
You don't?
No.
But aren't you worried that they're just going to stand there and be like Sam and be able to come up with a reference
Whoa.
when they need it?
Shots fired.
Yeah. What is this, Monday Night Football? I don't know. I got references.
That's the fun of it.
Because on the debaters, you get sort of, here's what's going to happen.
That's all of these shows. Like all the British, the panel shows and all that, going back to Hollywood Squares, everybody had there were joke writers and they knew what was coming. And that's fine for a TV show. But a live show, you want people to struggle.
Right.
You want
and in that moment, your synapses are firing and boom, you come up with something you wouldn't have thought of had you been given it ahead of time and had time to think.
And it's also, I think it's too much to ask people to pre-write stuff for a show where they're going to come down and make a couple of bucks, Right. It's like, just come down and we'll have the show and it'll be fine.
Yeah, and if they get, you'll save them.
Yeah. If it does, I've never had anybody on the show where it was hopeless. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It can be so much fun. Like you mentioned, the struggle of seeing somebody try to make it work.
Yeah.
And it's like improv.
Totally.
Trying to make something funny and it falling apart is hilarious.
Trying and failing is funny.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Whereas if you had prepared it and failed, that you would die a miserable death.
And I always have, or I always try to have a stand-up and an improv person together. And it's surprising who will do better.
Sure.
Like, because stand-ups are, like, it depends on the round, like what the object of the round is. Sometimes stand-ups just dominate. And then sometimes it's like, you really need that improv storytellery mind. And, yeah, but I'm always surprised by who does better.
So it's about 50-50.
Yeah.
You'd say, yeah.
Yeah. And, yeah, man, it's fun. Quiz show.
You know, Hollywood Squares, they would give the celebrities answers, but not say what the questions were.
Really?
Because that whole scandal with the quiz shows, they were very highly regulated, I guess, and watched. So the celebrities couldn't know, but they could guess by the answer when the question was thrown at them. They would go, oh, this must be the joke to that.
What was who's Center Square?
Paul Lynde.
Paul Lynde. God, he's so funny.
Yeah.
That was kind of his main thing, was being like a panelist on these things, mostly the Hollywood Squares.
Yeah.
But was there anybody funnier than Paul Lynde at doing that kind of thing?
Probably not.
Probably not.
But maybe
right?
the writers all just gave him the best joke.
But he just had that crazy way of delivering them that put him over the top.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of comedians, it's time for our segment now. New joke, old joke. New joke and or old joke. This was named by our guest, Mike Kaplan. New joke, old joke. Because I don't have a name for it, Graham, if you can come up with a better name, it will be the Graham Clark's segment.
It'll have to start with it's the Graham Clark
Memorial.
Right now, it's Mike Kaplan, new joke, old joke. And this is where we ask our guests to come up with either a new joke from a contemporary or a stand-up comic. A line from somebody's act that has always stuck with you, that you like, that makes you giggle, that makes you laugh, or makes you think. Or the and/or is the old joke, and that is a street joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you tell at a party.
I've got, do I do one of each?
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I mean, sometimes guests can't come up with any.
Okay, so.
This is great. Hey, by the way, Ryan Beal used a Graham Clark joke for his.
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Those were pistols firing.
Yeah. Or rockets, whatever, theater of the mind.
Okay.
My street joke is why is 6 afraid of 7?
No.
No, why is 6 afraid of 7?
I don't know why. Why is 6 afraid of 7?
Because 7 is a registered 6 offender. Boom.
Oh, man.
That's a good joke.
That's a great joke.
Yeah, because you're expecting the old, I don't want to hear this one.
7, 8, 9.
No wonder 7's my favorite number.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Where'd you hear that?
On the street.
Really?
Yeah. Somebody
geez.
told it to me at a party, and I thought it was I was like, I'm locking that in as
That's
the
so
joke
good.
that I can remember.
Good.
If ever somebody's like, tell me a joke.
You got a street joke, Sam?
No.
No. Come on, Sam. Every week we're going to do this. Next time.
When we
Sam,
rename it the Graham Clark Memorial Stolen Joke segment.
It's not stolen.
Oh, no,
These are
borrowed.
Street
Yeah,
jokes.
street jokes, yes.
Street jokes. This guy goes to his doctor. He's concerned about his wife's hearing. The doctor said, I've got a simple test you can give her. Ask her a question about 20 feet away from her. Ask her again about 10 feet away from her. And finally, ask her right beside her. So the guy goes home, says, that's great. He walks in the door, sees his wife at the stove in the kitchen, calls out, hey, honey, what's for dinner? No answer. He moves up to the edge of the kitchen door, about 10 feet behind, says, honey, what's for dinner? No answer. Finally goes up right behind her, says, honey, what's for dinner? She says, I told you 3 times it's chicken. Sam is just...
I don't get it. I am an idiot.
All right, so now it's time for the new joke.
The new joke, I was trying to think of one right before the show because I forgot that this segment was coming. And now I can't remember the name of the comedian that this joke comes from.
Maybe we know. We'll
you will
brainstorm
know.
We'll brainstorm.
Very famous Canadian comedian.
Okay, Canadian.
Out east. Been around forever. Derek Edwards.
Derek.
I got it.
Oh, that's great. He's been a guest on this show.
Derek Edwards, his joke about getting the fluoride treatment and then his dentist saying like, well, we've got different flavors. We've got peppermint and we've got strawberry. And he goes, oh, strawberry. Bring forth the strawberry. And then they put it in your mouth and oh my God, I'm not sure what happened to these strawberries. I think they've been sitting in a bucket of horse urine. I can't go to the dentist without thinking about strawberry.
I remember this routine. Yeah, that's
funny.
great.
That's fun.
Oh, this glorious strawberry.
Bring forth the strawberry.
You do a passable Derek Edwards impersonation.
He's one of the comedians that I think you have to do the joke in their cadence or else
it loses something.
Yeah, it loses something.
We should have had Simon King here to do it.
Next time he's on, ask if he can do a Derek
Edwards. Yeah. So the one I was thinking of was from Sean Keane, and it's a great 3-parter. It's a great joke. Each step of the way, it just gets
Sean
funnier.
Keane was who we were talking about.
Yeah. So it's the one that we talked about where he goes, my girlfriend died last week, but it's only now that I can laugh about it.
That's pretty good.
That was part one.
Oh.
I didn't go to her funeral. Couldn't get a date. I asked her sister. She couldn't go. She had some family function. And my wife didn't want to go with me. Boom. So that was a 4-parter.
That's really good.
That's very fun.
Yeah, Sean King. The late Sean King.
Yeah.
He's from Montreal.
And I saw him, the very last time I saw him was auditioning for Last Comic Standing in Montreal.
Oh, so you were on the same show?
Yeah.
And how did you fare?
I got to the first night and then got axed. And there was a guy that was dressed as a gorilla, and he got through.
Of course he did. That's funny.
Yeah. It was Mel Silverback.
From Winnipeg.
From Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Mel Silverback.
Man,
and he did like Borscht Belt kind of jokes, and he got through.
Wow.
And I didn't. Wow.
Oh, man.
It's sort of like a unknown comic kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just,
and he came out in this gorilla suit with like a Vegas like ruffled shirt and all this stuff. It was great.
How did Sean Keane do?
He didn't go through.
He didn't go through. Another great joke of Sean Keane. I choked on my own vomit today. It's my fault. I was eating it too fast.
These are like, oh man, what's his name? Drake Sather. I could imagine him telling a joke of that style, you know? He's also dead.
Which one's Drake Sather?
Which one?
Do I know
He's
that
the late great Drake Sather
He
too.
wrote or co-wrote Zoolander. That was his big thing. But him and Norm Macdonald were very close friends.
Right. Yeah. I knew. I remember that name.
Yeah, and both of them would write for Dennis Miller's talk show, like before Dennis Miller Live, like his failed late night talk show. They were in the writing room for that.
Yeah, he was great.
It reminded me of there was a comedian from Ottawa called Alan Watt, who my old roommate Sean Proudlove gave me his CD, and I listened to it all the time. And he was like a very one-line comic, and his first joke on the album is, I remember when I was a kid, and the other kids on the playground would say, "My dad could beat up your dad," and I would say, "How much would that cost?"
That's like a Sean joke. Like that. When I hear that, I'm like, oh God, that's perfect.
Alan Watt. He stopped doing it. He started writing sci-fi books or something like that. Yeah.
He stopped because there was no Juno category for best comedy albums when he released his. And speaking of CDs, everyone has one now, and there's a comedy award at the Junos Best Comedy Album.
Yeah.
Ivan Decker, of course, won in the return this past year. Graham Clark, no comedy CD.
No, I have one recorded. I just never have put it out.
So now here's the thing. So you've been at this for a while and you're prolific. You have so much material. When you recorded your CD, is it like all new material? Or did you want to go, like I think Brent Butt should do this. He has no CD out.
No.
But release something with like all of the jokes that you don't use anymore because we want proof of this. We want to be able to hear them again.
But I feel like there's some sort of document going along. Like I either did a comedy now and then I released an independent special.
Oh, with the Paul Bro.
With Paul Bro.
Yeah.
And then this CD was just recorded over a weekend. Like it wasn't a special come all my friends and all that kind of stuff. It was just whoever happened to be there that weekend, and so some jokes die and some jokes do well, and it's good. We just haven't finished it.
When can we expect that? What do you haven't finished it? The weekend's over.
Yeah, it was over a year ago.
What do you need?
Oh man!
But
Punch it up.
The guy who recorded it, Kevy,
former guest of this program.
Yeah, he went on like a crazy worldwide tour, and that's
that's good.
Yeah, he's doing great. So, we'll get it done. One of these days we'll get it done.
Because maybe for next year's Juno Awards.
Dare to Dream, they're in London, Ontario this year.
Are they doing the Juno Awards next year?
Are they doing the Juno Awards?
Yeah, I thought it was like every 2 or 3 years.
No, every year.
I confused it with something
It's
else.
not the Olympics. The Olympics is what you're thinking.
I apologize. I'm out of it.
But you should nominate yourself.
You have to nominate yourself. If we come away with nothing else here tonight, put yourself out there, nominate yourself, make a video.
Doesn't matter what comes of it. It's like starting a podcast. Just do it.
Just do it.
Do it. Have fun with it.
Just get out there, kids.
Whether you have listeners or no listeners, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, maybe eventually you get listeners. Maybe not.
Maybe.
Who knows? Who knows, man? That's
Nobody knows.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. So we can expect Graham Clark's CD, and when it comes out, you'll be coming back here as a guest.
Yeah.
Because we won't wait another 6 years.
No.
Hey, another segment we were doing is random questions. Now, the Brent Butt started doing random questions too, but he calls it something different.
Sure.
But mine are specific.
Okay.
Specific questions that the guest chooses because they're all numbered here.
What?
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to do something different for Graham because there are so many well-known, well-respected Graham Clarks out there.
Right.
And that
yes.
I did read an interview with a photographer, Graham Clark.
Okay.
And he had this question, and I'd like to pose it to you.
All right.
The world is full of amazing places and photo opportunities. What are some of the countries or regions you would like to visit and photograph in the coming years?
In the coming years, I think it would be the place I want to go to more than any other place is Branson, Missouri.
Oh, yes.
Is that still going strong?
What?
Branson.
Like it
always was?
Yeah,
Because we saw
like
that
it always
documentary.
was. Yeah, and it's the culture there fascinates me. It's a completely red state. And but because they have all these splashy musicals, it has the highest volume of musicals outside of Broadway, more than Broadway or Vegas. And so the gay population is like second only to like Miami or something like that. And everybody has to coexist in this crazy little town.
Missouri.
Yeah, in Missouri.
Missouri, as they say.
Yakov Smirnov isn't in Branson anymore.
No, he
he's
isn't.
back in L.A.
Yeah.
Oh, is he back in LA?
He's back in L.A., yeah. But that would have been amazing to see Yakov Smirnov.
Why the departure from Branson?
I'm sure he's making a lot more money in Los Angeles.
Really?
Making a lot more money winning Trump the election because he's Russian.
See, that's the
there
missing
it is.
link. I think his years in Branson probably caught up to him. That hard living.
But like
That would be a fun place to go. Yeah, you're right. And we don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who's been there. Do you?
No. And
Do people go from all over the world, or is it mostly from the South?
I think it's mostly from America.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think the people go there and
Kind of
it's
like Dollywood.
Yeah, and I think like all the shows are like America's great. the musical. Like, it's not, people aren't going there and seeing Rent or Angels in America or anything. They're going and seeing like Hee Haw Revisited and all that kind of
That
stuff.
would be pretty great.
I would go insane trying to see all the shows I wanted to see.
Why aren't you going? You're going to New York next week.
Yeah.
Or this week. And you're going to see Broadway musical.
Yeah.
Take the trip to Branson.
I want to. That's where I want to go.
But when you go, you need to document it.
Oh,
with
yeah.
video as well.
Video, photos, and you know what? Maybe a blog.
Make America Graham again. There you go.
I like it a lot.
Go to the Titanic Museum.
Hey,
Is that in Branson?
Why is there a Titanic Museum in Branson, Missouri?
is there really?
Yeah, sure.
Wow,
I'm looking at it right now. I'm doing in-depth research for my upcoming trip.
Hey, before we go, I wanted to ask you, I just read an article that I don't remember reading at the time, written by great comedy historian Cliff Nestoroff. Remember that guy? He used to be around here.
I do remember him.
Yeah, he wrote a story before he wrote his definitive book on old-timey comedy.
Yeah.
And even into modern day. He wrote a long, in-depth article on our guest here tonight, Graham Clark.
I know.
And he did mention a story that I had never heard, and I used to frequent the Urban Well.
Yeah.
Frequently. I guess that's redundant. And but there was a story about Victoria Jackson that I had never heard.
Yeah.
Tell us about this.
If I recall correctly, is that she came down and was she either did a set or was going to do a set, but she set up a video camera and was filming.
She was sitting in the audience.
Yeah, and she was filming people's sets.
I thought she was just filming your set.
No, I think she was filming everybody's sets.
Okay. Cliff took some poetic license.
Maybe some but this is how I remember it, so maybe I'm wrong.
Okay.
But that she was filming sets, and then I asked her to leave. Somebody asked her to leave.
You went up and talked to her, according to Cliff. I will tell you what you did.
You tell me,
Graham Clark.
Yeah, this is a long time.
You
ago.
went up to her very nicely, as you are a nice gentleman, and you just asked her why she was filming you.
Yeah.
And she said that she was doing a show here or something.
Yeah.
And she just wanted to get the look of the place, the layout, because she was going to be filming something in town.
Right.
And then after you spoke to her, she skedaddled.
Yeah.
Took her recording equipment with her and never put on a show in Vancouver.
Yeah, and she in short order after that she kind of went bananas. Remember?
Well, hey, I mean, who's to say, really?
Who's bananas and who's...
She was always a bit bananas.
But didn't she had like some kind of thing and like people were after her or something? Didn't she have like something in that realm?
She's a Tea Party supporter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Well, I was at the Oak Bay Tea Party this weekend.
Oh, come on.
You dropped what was it, Waffle-orama?
Waffle-orama?
Yeah, you dropped that like that was a thing that everybody knows what it is.
Everyone knows what
I have
that
no
is.
idea what it is.
Yeah, it's an annual waffle.
It's a private event.
Yeah, but it sounds like a place you can go to.
Everyone's going to be going, how do I get to the Waffle-orama?
Waffle-orama.
It sounds good.
It sounds really good.
Yeah.
It sounds like something you would go on a ferry to go enjoy.
Go back in time. But Victoria Jackson went a little bonkers, you said.
Yeah, that's my recollection. That
Okay. Yeah, I
don't want to say that I was the inciting incident that made her go bonkers.
I always liked her.
Yeah, well, she do the hilarious, like she would
She
stand
was
on
a
her hand
quirky, oddball.
and read a
That's right,
poem or whatever.
Johnny Carson loved her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. She was a real kook.
She was a kook.
Yeah.
And she apparently still is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know what? We wish her the best.
We do.
I know Sam does as well.
Always, yes. Any Tea Party supporter, I'm behind.
And we look forward to Victoria Jackson's upcoming show here in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Hey, there are the guitars, Graham.
There
It's
it
been
is.
fun. It's been great talking to you again. Thanks for your work here on the show, doing our promos. And
Yeah, thanks for having me. Oh, I see that some young Korean people are
Oh.
coming in.
K-pop
Oh,
time.
hello.
Next week, we will be back, and our guest will be... Who will it be next week, Sam?
Lark Miller.
Lark Miller, who hasn't probably been here in 6 years herself. So tune in next Sunday night at 11. Thanks for listening. Good night. Good night, Graham.
Good night.